Hi, I'm Shirley Agostino.
And I'm Pauline Jones. We're colleagues here at the University of Wollongong, and we've been using VToC software in our classes, and we'd like to share something of our experiences with you.
VToC is an online tool that allows you to easily create a table of contents for a video. We had the opportunity to have a go at using VToC, and so each of us teach in different areas. My area is in educational technologies. So we have a postgraduate program where we have a suite of subjects. In one of those subjects, I thought it would be a great opportunity to allow our students to trial out VToC. So the task that I asked my students to do was to actually conduct a usability evaluation of VToC.
I used VToC in a large undergraduate primary education subject. The subject's about language and learning and has a quite high theoretical load. So what I was able to do with the software is to annotate videos of classroom applications of the concepts so that the students could quickly see where teachers were using aspects of teaching like scaffolding in action.
The way my students used VToC was to conduct a usability evaluation. So they examined the interface, saw how it worked, and then made recommendations on how it could be potentially used as a teaching and learning tool.
And in my subject, I used it as part of an assessment task so that the students had to look at a video of a teacher teaching grammar in a Year 1 classroom. I'd marked up the points at which I thought the scaffolding was happening, and it might have been through the use of colour or visual supports, or even in the language that the teacher was using. The students could go straight to these moments in the lesson and then reflect upon how the teacher was employing scaffolding in the classroom.
And a key finding from my students was how easy it was to use. Its simplicity, the interface was very easy to use. Did your students have a similar experience?
Yes, I think the benefit for them was, as novices in teaching, part of the task was done for them. I could show them where the scaffolding was, whereas in previous years I just set them the task of watching the video and identifying them themselves. But of course, if you're new to teaching, that's actually quite a challenging task.
And so that's a key feature of the software that allows you to provide students with a piece of video, but rather than leaving it to their own devices onto inferring from that video, you can provide specific points at which they can go to and look at that video and analyse a particular aspect of teaching.
And then they could reflect upon that in light of the reading they've been doing, so that then they could sort those moments of scaffolding into those that the teacher had designed in and those that were more contingent or interactional.
So a key feature is that as a teacher you can create content for your students, produce a video or have access to a video and create some key points along that video that you want your students to focus on. But beyond that, we see a lot of potential for this type of tool. If you put it in the hands of students, you could allow students to create their own videos and create their own table of contents, or you could provide them with a video and they could create a table of contents around a topic that's of the focus for what you want them to do, so they can really critically engage with that multimedia source.
That's right. And I'm beginning to use it in research now. So in a large research team that I work on, we've got a lot of classroom data in the form of video. So we're able to, one viewer can go through a lesson and mark up spots in the video that are of interest to the team in terms of what we're looking for, and then share it with the other team members so that we've got more eyes on the data and much more strategically.
So that's another application, isn't it? So I suppose in summary what we're saying is that this tool can be used for a variety of purposes, namely as a teacher to provide a content resource to students where he or she has marked up the table of contents. Secondly, the students themselves can use it as a creation tool for them when they're creating assessment tasks. It can support them in their reflections for learning. But thirdly, as Pauline's mentioned, it can even be used as a research tool, as a way to analyse video. My students overwhelmingly said the simplicity of the interface was the key strength of VToC. You can create a table of contents very quickly. All you need to do is upload your video and then easily just go through that video and mark out at key points where you want your table of contents, and you can just type in a brief phrase and then the video is done. You publish it and there's a lovely drop-down menu that has your table of contents. Nowadays, our students, and even primary school students, high school students, university students, they're interacting with multimedia materials as part of their study. And so VToC allows an opportunity for students to look at a video and annotate that to make meaningful.
And our pre-service teachers are going to need to use similar sorts of media in their own classrooms and to know what they can do with it in terms of framing content for their students as well. In previous iterations of the assessment task, the students would look through the video and try and identify where the scaffolding was happening. And often we'd get assignments where they'd describe everything, or they'd be stuck in that level of just describing what they could see instead of thinking about what the teacher's done, linking it to practice. So when we've taken that load off them and do the identification, that frees them up to do the more higher order thinking about generalising and conceptualising. And I think we got assessments that were much more precise as a result. VToC is a very useful software with a good deal of potential. We've used it for teaching, for structuring students' attention to what we want them to take notice of. We think that students can use it very effectively to reflect upon their own practices and to mark up things that they see as important. And we also think it's a useful tool for researchers, for research teams, and sharing points in videos that we want to then go in and do further analysis work on.